Hey, what's going on, guys? This is part one of deku overhaul. I hope you like it. Just wait till part three. There's a huge twist, and I think you're gonna like it. So let's get started.
As Deku was at the quirk doctor, he was sitting there playing with an all-night toy. The doctor walked in shaking and scared. He said, "Well, Mrs. Midoriya, can we step outside?" Izuku's mother nodded. As they walked outside, the doctor cleared his throat and said, "Well, you son has a quirk, but..." Mrs. Midoriya looked scared and said, What is it, doctor?" "Your son's quirk, it's well villainous. Anything he touches can be disassembled and reassembled, living or not." Izuku's mother looked shocked, and said, "Don't you ever call my son's quirk villainous." As she bursted in the room and grabbed Izuku's hand, and she dragged her son out of the doctor's. When they got in the car, she sighed. Izuku piped up and said, "So do I have a quirk?" His mother looked hesitant to tell him what his quirk was, but she had to. "Yes, Izuku, you do." He was so excited. He said, "What is it? What is it?" "You can disassemble and reassemble anything you touch." Izuku looked so happy and said, "Yes, that's so cool, I will call it overhaul." His mom gave him a weak smile and said, "Yes, it is." Time skip. Izuku can be seen sitting in class writing and mumbling to himself. Capital WOODICASOUSEFULLIWONDERIFI. As before, he could continue. His best friend Katsuki Bakugo. Also the girl who promised to marry him. She was an average height gal. Before I do this, it is just so you can get a better picture of her. He had long blonde hair that reached to her butt. She had a nice C-cup size breasts traveling down. She was wearing a tight black shirt that had an explosion on it. Think of the pow emoji. Over that, she had an unbuttoned white overshirt. Show her above average chest. And a waist that had not one amount of fat and was flawless. Move farther down, she was wearing a dangerously short mini skirt that showed her very above average ass that was very firm. And she had long black stockings reaching her mid-thigh, and a pair of black shoes. Moving back up to her face, she had long black eyelashes, and very sexy red eyes, and nice pink shiny lips. Not a flaw on her face. She was yelling at our lovely green-haired protagonist, who was a blushing mess because she was yelling at him to stop that mumbling. The teacher walked in saying, "Settle down, class," and Katsuki, "Sit down." And she went to her seat, grumbling. "Today, class, we're gonna be signing papers to what you want to do in the future." But he threw that papers in the air and said, Who cares, we all know you want to become heroes." As everyone started to show off their quirks except two people, Izuku and Katsuki. Izuku sitting there shyly and Katsuki not caring. And the said girl spoke. "Tech, don't lump me and Izuku in with these extras." "Ah yes, Katsuki, you want to go to UA with Izuku," she said, or more like yelled damn straight. As everyone started to laugh, that little useless Deku was trying to get in the best hero school in Japan. Katsuki started to growl and said, "Any of you fuckers want to say that to me?" As they all got quiet, the teacher clears his throat to get the retention. "Everyone settle down and turn off your quirks. You know it's illegal to use your quirk in public." Everyone grumbled and turned off their quirks. Later after class, we can see Deku and Katsuki, the dating couple, going to Izuku's house. As they were walking down the block, a Cullen came out of the sewers and said, "Ah yes, a sweet young girl, she will be the perfect one to take over." As the Villab was trying to enter her body, she was trying to struggle against him, but she couldn't. So she just gave up. Izuku was scared but knew he didn't have time to go find a pro hero. So he took matters into his own hands. He touched the ground, and spikes shot out in the sludge. Villain, but it didn't affect him. Izuku got nervous. And mad, nervous. Because if he couldn't do anything, his girlfriend would die, so he ran up and touched the villain and disassembled him into just a bunch of green water. He then touched the green water, reassembling the sludge into a solid block. And right after that, a hulking figure appeared and said, "No need to fear." "Why?" "Because I am here." Izuku paid no mind to All Might as he ran up to his girlfriend and said, wake up," as she was unconscious. About 5 minutes later she woke up and rubbed her head and said what happened after Izuku told her what happened. She was shook and said where is the villain now? Izuku pointed to a green solid ice cube looking thing, and said over there. She nods already know Izuku's quirk, but the number one hero did not. He looked at Izuku and asked what did you do to him, and he pointed at the green ice cube. Izuku said I used my quirk, I disassembled him into water and reassembled him into a green ice cube. All Might looked shocked and said wow, that is a really strong quirk. As he had a thought, I wonder if he could heal me. So he asked, listen you two, I have to tell you a secret. Back in my prime I was fighting the strongest villain in history. All for one. As he had a dark expression on his face, he went on to explain all about his injury and showed them. And then he finally asked, so young Izuku, can you heal me? Izuku said with a little hesitance, I am pretty sure I can. The number one hero smiled and said great, meet me at the gates of Whta at 7 a.m. on Sunday. Today was Friday, so he had 2 days to prepare. All Might also said you can bring your girl friend with you too. As Izuku blushed and Katsuki said damn straight I am coming. As Izuku and the number one hero both sweet dropped. Okay. Time skip 2 days. We see a green and blonde hair boy and girl walking down the road. The green-haired boy spoke up. So Katsuki, do you think I can heal All Might? He asked. The girl responded I don't know. As they started to talk about other stuff. As they arrived they saw All Might. He said a yes, young Izuku and young Katsuki. Welcome to Whta. As they both smiled. As they walked in, the first place they went to was the nurse's office. Once they got there, Izuku saw the short healing pro hero. As he started to mumble Agent, soy fire him. Shut up damn it, Katsuki screamed at him. Izuku jumped and said sorry. As they got in the doctor's office and sat down. Note, I forgot the healing girl's name, the short old one, so if you could tell me in comments that would be great. As she got done debriefing Izuku of what he was doing. So about 10 minutes after the surgery started. As Izuku placed his hand on All Might, he quickly disassemble and reassemble his stomach. As the little pro hero was checking to make sure everyone was okay, she spoke up. It was a 100% success. 3 hours later, Izuku could be seen sitting in his room, thinking hard. Quirk observation. My quirk overhaul allowed me to reassemble and disassemble anything, still keeping the target alive if I disassemble. But if I wait too long that die. Tested this on a bug. If the target is already dead there is bothering he could do. Abilities. Heal, ground spikes, disassemble, reassemble and cluster of spikes. Are all my main abilities. So my quirk has a lot more potential than I thought. Could I disassemble someone's cells and reassemble them? Could I reverse age people? The possibilities are virtually endless. Another time skip. Whta exams. Izuku was sitting by Katsuki, and they were listening to a boring speech. Skip to the test ending. Deku was pretty sure he did pretty good. He would call himself pretty smart. That last time I did an IQ test was about 2 years ago. It was 156, which is pretty insane. So I am pretty sure I passed. As Izuku was going to get his hero suit on. He was wearing a purple shirt. It had the words desecrate on it and had a red and black overcoat. His pants was just black and very loose. He was wearing pure red shoes. Moving back up, he had green hair and lively green eyes. Max had a mask. It's as just Kaniki's mask, but it had a gas mask built in. So the hero overhaul looks badass. As I was walking up to the gates of Whta I got very hyped. I was waiting until I seen my girlfriend Katsuki. I yelled. Before I could run over there, a blue-haired boy said you should stop bothering other people and focus on yourself. Before I could reply, I heard yelling. Hey you fucking blue-haired extra, leave him alone before I fucking murder you. As she let her explosions crackle on her palm, the blue-haired boy stepped back and apologized, then walked away. Izuku and Katsuki started to talk for a little while, before the gates suddenly opened and everyone but Izuku and Katsuki stood there. They both ran in and went different directions, while everyone else was standing there before she heard. There is no starting signal in a real fight, go go go. As everyone rushed in, back to Izuku. I dashed in and seen what I assumed to be a 3-pointer robot. So I ran up and touched it, making it into a sword, which I decided to use that to fight.
So that is all for today's video. I hope you like it. And like I said, be ready for part 3. There's a huge plot twist, which I think you guys are going to like.